And welcome to Modern Retro. I am Cuba. How you doing? I am joined by the Yeti of the podcast, Aaron.
Yo!
Oh no, hi.
I mixed it up.
You don't even need to answer, and I'll just take that soundbite and just insert it right there.
Yep. Every time you ask me a question, hi!
So we're royalists today, just me and you, but we got shit to talk about. We got things to cover. We got a couple of things here and there, some things that grind our gears. Let's announce the thing that we've been announcing for like a month now. We are doing our mystery box giveaway. So it's like our version of Loot Crate, I guess. You could call it the bastard unwanted offspring of Loot Crate, Nerd Block, whatever, what have you. So this is your opportunity to win a mystery box from us. This is not a monthly subscription. This costs you nothing. You don't have to pay us any money. Well, first of all, go to our website, because from our brand new relaunched, redesigned website, which is now truly the hub of everything Modern Retro, you will find the link to the iTunes. And on iTunes, you need to leave a star rating. I don't care what you rate us, 1 to 5, or whatever the star rating is. Leave a star rating and leave a comment. Now here's the catch. You have to listen carefully. You can't just leave it and expect to win. Email us at modernretrocast@gmail.com with the username you used to leave the comment. So that is how you're going to win this. You benefit by getting a mystery box. We benefit by getting a little boost in the iTunes.
And your chances to win are probably, pretty good since we're still starting out.
We actually have had a great increase over the last 2 weeks in listenership. So I want to thank all the people who have been here from the beginning with us, and I want to thank everybody who is brand new, who has just started listening in the last 2 or 3 weeks. We've been doing great. We've got a huge boost from people listening to the new episodes, people going back and listening to the back catalog. So we want to welcome you. Thank you for listening. We hope you stay with us and continue enjoying this. Like Aaron said, we are still a relatively new podcast, so things like this mystery box and other little ideas that we have coming up, it's just our way to kind of keep you folks engaged. So, all right, so the 2017 World Video Game Hall of Fame inductees. This year, the ones that won and were put into the World Video Game Hall of Fame are, let's see, we got Donkey Kong, Street Fighter 2, then Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green. I guess that's kind of a cheat, because it's 2 games, but it's really just kind of 1 game. And Halo Combat Evolved, so the first Halo. Now,
how often is this fucking award ceremony or induction happening? Every 20 years? This is... like, it's so scarce and unknown.
Let's see, 2015 might be the... Yeah, it looks like 2015 was like the first time, because that's the oldest inductee I'm seeing here.
So in 2015, they're like retroactively going back and just putting it into this non-existent Hall of Fame that they invented.
Somebody needs a Hall of Fame. Everything needs a Hall of Fame, so somebody needed to do it.
All right, this kind of calmed my anger down, but made me angry on a whole nother level.
That it's not like going back to the 80s or something?
Exactly. So it's like so my anger started out with me being like, that's what got voted, and you voted over the other thing? Fuck you. But now that I know that this was created in 2015, now I'm like, it's not even legitimate?
It's as legitimate as me and you coming up with the Hall of Fame ourselves. They just beat us to it.
Jesus.
Here are some of my issues with this year's winners. Because there were some finalists that I think deserve to be there over some of these winners. Now, let's see here. Let's start with the Pokemon game, because I think this would be like their most direct competition. So Pokemon went up, I would say, against Final Fantasy VII and Pokemon 1. Now, the original Pokemon games, all for the Game Boy, those were good games. They were great, fun RPGs. But Final Fantasy games, at least like 1 through 11, were epic as fuck. I haven't played any newer ones, but I don't see how Pokemon beat Final Fantasy VII, especially with Final Fantasy VII's following.
I don't know. This one's a tough one for me because I remember that Pokemon game taking over the fucking world, like Pokemon Go did, like just last year. Everyone was playing it, only it was a Game Boy game, so they played it for more than the week that we were playing Pokemon Go. But Final Fantasy VII, like if this was up against any other Final Fantasy, I'd say Pokemon all the way. The fact that you did it against fucking Final Fantasy VII, the best one. That's all you can really say. It's
right.
the best one.
I didn't play 7, but it is considered the best. I've played Final Fantasy games.
Out of the 2 games, the only one you played was Pokemon, correct?
Yes, but I'm counting.
So I mean, that just proves
this is why Roy needs to be here for this one. This is Roy just ruined the podcast. The only really other one that I think is a complete crime, more than Pokemon here, is Mortal Kombat was nominated and lost to Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. No, okay, no, before you say a fucking word, I have played both of those, okay? So, shut your fucking hole.
Yep.
Mortal Kombat was... You want to talk about fucking cultural shock. Just, holy hell. I mean, nobody went to federal court over Street Fighter 2. Mortal Kombat's the reason we have, like, the mature rating on fucking games now.
Yep.
Mortal Kombat was the most influential fighting game ever. It's not the first fighting game ever. I mean, I'm pretty sure Street Fighter 1 came out before Mortal Kombat. And maybe then Tekken came out after, I think. But it's like
Virtual Fighter 4.
Everybody there was fighting games before Mortal Kombat, and then there's fighting games after Mortal Kombat. After Mortal Kombat, every fighting game tried to be like Mortal Kombat. Except for Street Fighter, I'll give them cred. They stuck to their kind of crappy format. And I was never a huge fan of Street Fighter. Street Fighter was fun in the arcade. I played Street Fighter in the arcade, and then Mortal Kombat came around. And then Mortal Kombat came to your home console, and you're like, holy shit, that game I waited 40 minutes to play at the arcade, and then that guy who looks like he's 30, but he was really like 16 at the time because it was 1992 and everybody looked older, beat me in 5 seconds and ripped my head out. You can play this at home now.
When they had the retro arcade that was over in Providence over here, I went to that thing and they had Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and all that type of shit. They also had like the original Star Wars virtual reality kind of game, but there was 2 Mortal Kombat games, Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 2 next to each other, and there was just one guy. He stayed there the whole
always
night.
One. Always, no matter what.
Night. And he was just like killed everyone. I was like,
this is recent, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same. I relived a flashback in my adult life. It was my Vietnam. I was ready to punch the dude.
So all younger listeners, there was once upon a time a thing called an arcade that was actually a really cool thing because it was the only place that you could really play video games. Before Nintendo took off and everything, even after Nintendo, for a little while, the best games were still arcade games. They had like the best graphics, and you had to go and pump like $50 worth of fucking coins or tokens into these fucking things. But your parents would drop you off at the arcade on a Saturday in like early afternoon, and they'd pick you up when the mall closed. and you would spend, I would say, half the day waiting in line to beat that guy at Mortal Kombat, and then you spent the other half of the day just playing other crappy games, waiting for the Mortal Kombat line to thin out so you can get back into the Mortal Kombat line.
Yep.
The World Video Game Hall of Fame at Strong was established in 2015 to recognize individual electronic games of all types, arcade, console, computer, handheld, and mobile, that have enjoyed popularity over a sustained period and have exerted influence on the video game industry or on popular culture and society in general. Inductees were announced at the Strong Museum in Rochester this May. It doesn't say what they like if there are categories. Final selections are made on the advice of journalists, scholars, and other individuals familiar with the history of video games and their role in society. So, it's rigged. That's what I get from that sentence. It's rigged. There's no such thing as a video game scholar. You and I are video game scholars.
Yep.
What makes you a video game scholar? You just happen to be alive while video games were at in their golden age?
I had a subscription to Game Informer.
Yeah, I had Nintendo Power magazine.
But that's basically it. This is some biased bullshit.
It is some bullshit. It's fucking...
This is some MSNBC type shit.
Totally slanted to one side.